I am Mark Twain. Because of my scribblings, I've acquired a great deal of celebrity. This in turn has led to introductions to some of the most distinguished and interesting saints, socialites, pirates, and scoundrels our planet has to offer. Of all of these stellar personalities, there is one whose undying friendship towards the human race is eclipsed only by my own. That individual is Nikola Tesla. To this day, the only moments when he is not touching our lives are those that occur while we sleep. Some would characterize him as the archetypical mad scientist. This is unfair. He was not mad, not even peeved. His eccentricities were astounding, but forgivable when viewed in the light of scientific brilliance which permeated his existence and left a legacy that has enriched us all. He was acquainted with me long before we met. He had contracted cholera as a young man and claimed that reading my books was the panacea that led to his remarkable recovery. I told you he was brilliant. By early youth, he could solve calculus exercises in his head. As an inventor, he did not need or use notebooks. He could visualize an end product and then construct it mentally. This, in a way, is a tragedy. Since he wrote little down, no one knows how many inventions he conceptualized without actual construction. These, however, we know are his. Alternating current, the fluorescent light, X-rays, wireless communication, remote control, radio, induction motors, and, to a great degree, the transistor. He claimed to have developed a method of delivering inexhaustible power to every household in America. But when his sponsor, George Westinghouse, realized it could not be regulated and there was no way to charge for it, he shut down the operation. My introduction to Tesla was brought about by an affliction from which I was suffering. Constipation of a most disagreeable and determined sort. Upon my initial visit to his laboratory, he had me stand upon a steel plate which oscillated and through which an electrical current ran. I was apprehensive at first, but after my initial treatment, I was greatly relieved. This therapeutic contraption had an altogether different origin. Nikola was the one that discovered Earth's magnetic frequency, leading to the realization that all things had individual frequencies. By utilizing an outside source to duplicate that resonance, incredible things would occur. He developed a pulsing box that was adjustable and no bigger than a clock. He activated it in his workshop and then got distracted, piddling away with something else. It resulted in a fairly serious seismic disturbance. When the police arrived, they found him in the act of smashing his wayward offspring with a hammer. It was later retooled into the device that proved so beneficial to me. Naturally, it became the desire of certain powerful individuals with the request to develop a death ray to be used in warfare. He explained that such a notion was ludicrous and impossible. It could not be done. A ray diffuses too quickly and would not be effective past a few feet. What they needed was a charged particle beam projector. He could build one of those that could slaughter anything on the ground or in the air. His work in this field caused me to send him the following letter. November 1898, Vienna, Austria. Dear Mr. Tesla, have you Austrian and English patents on that destructive terror which you are inventing? And if so, won't you set a price on them and commission me to sell them? I know cabinet ministers of both countries, and of Germany too, likewise William II. I shall be in Europe a year yet. Here in the hotel the other night, when some interested men were discussing means to persuade the nations to join them with the Tsar and disarm, I advised them to seek something more sure than disarmament by perishable paper contract. Invite the great inventors to contrive something against which fleets and armies would be helpless, and thus make war henceforth impossible. I did not suspect that you were already attending to that and getting ready to introduce into the earth permanent peace and disarmament in a practical and mandatory way. I know you're a very busy man, but will you still find time to drop me a line? Sincerely yours, Mark Twain. At the onset of World War II, he tried to interest the Allied nations in this device, claiming that it had been tested and would make warfare obsolete. The only nation that took him seriously was Russia. They eventually gave him a check for $25,000, a fortune in those days. It has always piqued my interest that on June 30th, 1908, 10 years after my letter, in a remote district of Siberia, a phenomena occurred. It was titled the Tunguska Event. A section of ancient forest was dramatically and instantaneously flattened in what, for lack of a better word, scientists have termed an explosion. I must correct myself. In my line of work, proper definitions are of utmost importance. I said it was a section of forest, and that is wrong. A section is merely 640 acres of land. What got flattened in Siberia was 770 sections, almost twice the size of the county in which I now stand. Neither Tesla nor the Russians ever implicated him in this astounding matter, and I am not one to cast aspersions or spread harmful gossip. I just think it's interesting.